For anybody who follows the Joe Rogan show, he had a absolutely stunning guest on, Thomas Campbell, who has scientifically proven the consciousness theory, right? And I would implore anybody to go listen to it. If you have a struggle of the understanding of what consciousness is, he explains it very elegantly. It's all over the place, but he comes, the way he explains it is probably the best explanation I've ever heard of it. I mean, we spoke about this previously, and I think from a line is, at least for me, when you look at consciousness, it's the same explanation as religion, right? So if you look at, from a Christianity standpoint, Christianity had an idea of what consciousness was, because we put into the idea as God is in us and we are all God, right? We are all together. God is one, we're made in his image. It's an expression of consciousness. So one of the things that I really love about the concept of going into the hypnosis NLP system is it doesn't matter what your faith system is. Because once you go through it, as you did as a Christian man, you go through it and you realize that whatever your faith system is all tied into the same thing. Sure. We're all connected. We're all part of the same thing. We're all part of consciousness, God, whatever we want to call it. Now, what I really love about the NLP hypnosis system, if you have any doubts, if you we've had discussions previously where people go, hypnosis, oh my God, you're going to make me act like a chicken.
Oh, I'm going to be possessed.
Oh, I'm going to be possessed. Like it really isn't that. It's, and this is, again, my own perspective is when I went into the session with Yvonne, the session was this guided meditation. That's the best explanation I can give, which opened my eyes to the biggest version of how I connect to consciousness, how I fit into the scheme of things. And when I came out of there, the best explanation I can give in people is, imagine you're sitting in a bus. On this side of the bus is a big rock wall and it's dark. On this side is sunshine. If I put my hand over here and I close that eye, all I can see is darkness. If I do it this way, all I can see is light. But that's choice. Yeah. I choose which version of reality and how I see the world. No matter how dark the person next to me sees the world, how I perceive the world is my choice. I can either see the light or I can see the dark, but that option is mine and my accountability to choose that option. And my feeling was, when I came out of that, it was like, oh, I can choose? You mean that it's all happening for me, not to me? And then it's like a light bulb goes off. And I remember, I don't know if you had the same experience, Ken, but when I came out of there, I was like, I wonder how long this is going to last. And I was kind of waiting for it to wear off, and then it just never did. Yeah. That's the experience that you kind of speak of. Everything changes, but nothing changes.
Yeah. You're going.
I was just going to say, like, for me, like, after I did it, because I wanted to do it for so long, and there was just a lot of build up for me. So me finally getting in was like, it was really anticipated and excited for it. And then when it was over, we had a lot of breakthroughs in my session, and like I cannot wait to get the tattoo from that session. But it was like this like weight of the world lifted off me. And I love your analogy of the dark side of the bus versus the light side, because I agree. Like, you realize that you can choose which side of the bus you're on, right? And so for me, like, I was also like, well, what's next now, right? Like, what's the next couple of days going to look like? Yeah. And there were moments of like, one thing that stood out for me, and I think I shared this with you, like, in my follow-up, was I had like the second day, I think it was like a little bit of an overwhelming moment where it was just like, I don't know how to explain it, but like all these things just flying past me. And I was just like, what is going on? And so I went out and did my meditation and like realized like, whew, okay, I'm back in the game. Like, this is okay. But it's different, but then it's not, right? Yeah. It's weird because you think you're going to have this like,
it's very difficult to explain.
It is. It's so different. It's hard to explain for those, but I think like you mentioned the spiritual aspect of this, and like, you know, I remember my mom asking me like, was this like witchcraft? Like, what is this, right? She's, you know, I grew up.
If I had $1.
I grew up with religion and faith and all that stuff, and I was like, not like, Mom, it's guided prayer. Like, that's a good way to put it, right?
It takes you closer to your faith.
Yeah, and my friend Jason, who's a former Navy SEAL, he did Ibogaine down in Mexico. And him and I had a conversation prior to me doing the session with you, but he talked about how with Ibogaine, and he's big with faith as well, he actually felt like he talked to God in his session, right? And like just have that breakthrough for him, like, you know, just and I felt the spiritual nature of it. I felt that closer connection to God and my faith, and like when you experience these things, because you're truly going back. And I think just writing about everything alone is therapeutic.
Yeah.
Just going back and you know, mine was like a novel, but like I just like getting it out to realize, you kind of start to identify where what I thought were my problems and where my problems were, it was actually not where my problems were. And so then you start diving in and unpacking, and it's just therapeutic, just getting it out and putting it out there. And I don't know, it's like it's very freeing.
It really is.
The reason why it's such a spiritual experience is because when you are under hypnosis, you are in an alpha state. So you're in a really relaxed state. And we're actually reaching your unconscious mind. So how does this work? So hypnosis is not where you are asleep, it's an awake state. It's just a really deep state of relaxation. And the reason why we do that is because 93% of what you do every day gets run by your unconscious mind. It's not by your analytical, let's put numbers together, let's rationalize everything. That's your conscious mind. That's the one that takes in information from your external experience, and it tells your unconscious what to do.
Would that be similar to, and again, this is why I love the analogy of listening to Thomas Campbell, because how you're explaining it, he explains it in a specific way that makes it easy for men to understand. I'll explain why.
Yes, because it's logical, right?
So he talks about the logical mind and the intuitive mind, right? Which was it was a light bulb moment for me. And when you're talking about that is what I felt, if I could explain in ways, and I'd like you to give you insight on it. What I felt was when you went in there, generally what happens is when you haven't gone through this process and you try to meditate and you try to deal with these things, your logical mind tries to solve the problem analytically, but your intuitive mind gets overridden all the time. When you go through hypnosis, it almost subdues the logical mind and allows the intuitive mind to come forth, and that then all of a sudden opens up the library of information that kind of goes, okay, well, everything was here already, I just didn't know it.
Or actually your intellect was actually stopping you from getting there.
Yes.